You've been hearing a lot about norovirus lately. We and health organizations have been telling you about a rise in cases in recent weeks. But there seems to be a lot of stigma or preconceived notions about what we're actually talking about here. Take a look. Some users shared or commented on Facebook posts about norovirus lately, claiming it came from China, similar to COVID-19. Others posted about norovirus being used to fearmonger or falsely claim the U.S. would go back into lockdown as it did with the pandemic. So tonight we're on your side with 3 things you need to know about the norovirus. Thing 1, what is it exactly? Well, norovirus is a group of viruses that cause severe vomiting and diarrhea. It's sometimes called the winter vomiting virus. Not pleasant. It's very common, it's very contagious, and usually spreads more during the colder seasons. The symptoms usually appear up to 2 days after you've been exposed, and they last around 3 days. It's not like the normal flu because it's not spread as much with coughing or sneezing. You can get norovirus by coming into close contact with someone who has it, touching contaminated surfaces, or eating and drinking contaminated foods and beverages. Sometimes certain foods, including oysters and other seafood, are naturally contaminated with norovirus. Thing 2, where did it come from? Now, as we said at the beginning of this segment, there are rumors online that it came from China. That's just not true. The virus originated actually about 550 miles away from North Carolina in Norwalk, Ohio. It was first reported back in 1968, which means it's been around for quite a long time now. So finally, thing 3, treatment and prevention. That's important. Now, keep this in mind. There's no vaccine for norovirus. The best way to treat it is just really similar to other stomach bugs. You want to stay hydrated, you want to get your rest. When it comes to prevention, health officials say it's simple. Wash those hands a lot. If you're sick, avoid preparing food for other people. Don't share food with others. And when you're disinfecting surfaces as a precaution, there is something you may want to consider.
Let's say someone in your house is sick, you want to clean surfaces, that makes sense. You often reach for something like this. This says, kills, 99.9% of viruses. Well, guess what? Norovirus falls into that 0.1%.
Oh, no.
So this actually doesn't do a good job there. But what you really need to find are products that have hydrogen peroxide in it. So look for that. By the way, you can read all the viruses on the back and you won't find norovirus.
Important, right? Dr. Gupta also says cleaning products that contain bleach are also helpful as disinfectants. Coming up next here on Your Side.